This is Weather Talk Live from Dr. Don's Weather. Powered by Southern Union State Community College, Alpha Insurance Agent Jamie Dukas, the venue at 5 Points Farms, Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery in Wedowee. Brought to you in part by the Randolph County Commission, Southern Auction Solutions, Roger Bell Auto Brokers, Genesis Weight Clinic in Roanoke, Jimmy Stevens Construction, First Light Coffee, Anchor Roofing, Auction 431 South, Town of Wadley, Remax Lakefront Sonia Halaman, and Bama Diesel Repair. From the Alpha Weather Center, here's Dr. Don.
And good evening, East Alabama and West Georgia. Welcome to another edition of Weather Talk Live. We finally, I guess however you want to look at it, we finally have something to talk about, but we don't really want to talk about it because it could potentially be a deal across East Alabama and West Georgia as we get into Friday evening into Saturday. We're going to talk about it. Going to spend a little time with you. We've got a very important live television news conference is going to be coming on at the top of next hour, and I know everyone wants to be glued to the television to watch that event. So we'll be done before that takes place. But it is Thursday, March 7th, 2024, and it is about 1 minute after 7 o'clock on the central side of the time zone. It is 8:01 over on the eastern side of the time zone. And we welcome all of you across East Alabama and West Georgia. See a lot of folks already checking in. We've got LaGrange in the house. East Napoleon is here. And we appreciate everybody that's checking in with us this evening. And I'll go over to the chat room and chit-chat with you in just a few moments. But first, let's talk about some weather. We may have to deal with some severe weather and potentially some flooding. I think the flooding threat is a little more significant than the severe threat, but we're going to talk about both. And we'll talk about the severe threat first this evening, and you can see the map on the screen. This is the latest graphic from the National Weather Service office out of Birmingham, Alabama, and this is basically from about 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, a little less than 24 hours from now, through about 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. And you can see the areas in yellow is where we expect to see the best chance of severe weather on your Friday evening into Saturday morning, and it's only a level 2 out of 5, so it's not a significant threat for severe weather. But in those areas where you see yellow, you could potentially see wind gusts of up 60 miles per hour, and a brief tornado is also going to be possible. In the green areas, you're going to see those threats I just mentioned, but it's not going to be nearly as possible in the green area. So, you folks along the I-20 corridor, you know who you are. We're talking about Carroll, Cleburne, Calhoun, Talladega, Clay, Randolph, Northern Chambers, over into Hurd and Troop. You're in that green area where you only have a level 1 out of 5, which means it's a marginal risk at best. And then for our folks who watch us down in central Alabama, we're talking Chilton County, southern Shelby, Chilton County, Autauga County, down into Dallas, Lowndes, Montgomery, Coosa, Elmore, Tallapoosa County, most of Chambers down into Lee County, and then Harris County over in Georgia. You're going to be in that yellow risk area. I think Troop is going to be in that, mostly in that yellow as well, especially the West Point Lake areas of Troop County. You're going to be in the yellow, so that means you got a number 2 risk, 2 out of 5. And so your chances of seeing severe weather are going to be a little bit better. So I'm basically going to say the I-85 corridor in south, maybe a little bit north of there and south, will stand the best chance of seeing severe weather. Not going to be a red letter severe weather outbreak across East Alabama and West Georgia. I think what is going to be more of a possibility that we're going to have to deal with is going to be significant rainfall. And so the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch This means that we could potentially see some flash flooding and some river flooding all across East Alabama and West Georgia. If you're in our coverage area between I-20 and I-85 and to the east of I-65 and to the west of Atlanta, that's our coverage area, then you are covered by a flood watch, and that flood watch runs through about 3 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. It starts at noon tomorrow and runs through 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And so we're looking at that area you see in red is the Storm Prediction Center's excessive rainfall outlook. So that area in red is the area that stands the best chance of having excessive rainfall. Well, what's excessive rainfall? In each weather event's going to be a little bit different. The Tuesday night, Wednesday storm system, we were expecting up to 2, maybe 3 inches of rain on that system. It didn't really develop. We got about an inch in most locations. And the reason we didn't get that 2 to 3 inches of rain is because we had a mesoscale system that set up across the northern Gulf of Mexico, and that blocked all the moisture from coming up into Alabama and Georgia. So our rainfall totals were limited to about 1 inch. Could that happen tomorrow night and into Saturday morning? Well, certainly it could. Those MCS systems are very hard to predict. You don't know that they're because it's a weather system that creates its own environment, really, and there's no way to tell exactly where they're going to form. So it's possible that could happen again, but it doesn't look very likely in this particular setup. So we think the excessive rainfall risk is going to be in that area you see on the screen there in red. Now, that covers all of west central Alabama, east central Alabama, west central Georgia, over into middle Georgia. Basically from the Atlanta metro back to Birmingham metro, down to Montgomery, and then back over to Macon. So that certainly covers the entire coverage area of Dr. Don's weather. So if you're in East Alabama or West Georgia, you're in that red, which means that you stand to receive anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain, and some localized areas could see even more than 4 inches of rain. Let me go ahead and put on let's see, where did it go? Let's see if we can get back to, okay, maybe we did not load it. I'll grab it in just a few moments. But I wanted to show you the total rainfall projections, and you'll see when I get that up here, you'll see it's right across East Alabama and West Georgia. But Saturday morning, this is the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for the possibility of severe weather. And for you folks over in Georgia, I wanted to show this to you because this is at 6 a.m. Saturday morning. So the threat is going to be an overnight into probably noontime on Saturday, but most of Saturday's activity is going to be in Georgia. This storm system should be clearing East Alabama sunrise or shortly after Saturday morning, and then creeping into Georgia by the time you get up on Saturday morning. So most of the significant weather, if there is any significant weather, should be in Georgia, by 7, 8, 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. So I wanted to show you that. And so if you will bear with me, I'm going to put that graphic back up. And then I'm going to run up to the models up here. And I'm going to grab the graphic that I honestly thought I had already loaded, but apparently I did not. And I want to show this to you. Take me just a second to get this set up for you. And this particular model, I don't want you to pay attention to the amount of rain. I want you to take a look at where the reds are. Let me see if I can get that to come up. There we go. And it's a little out of kilter here, but you can still see what we're talking about. Look at the red. That's where we expect the heaviest rainfall to be. Now, this particular graphic is showing around 2 inches across East Alabama, maybe 3 inches back over toward Atlanta in West Georgia. But I think this particular model is underdoing things. I think we're probably more in the 2 to 4 inch category across East Alabama and West Georgia, and even all the way up here into Northeast Georgia. We could see 2.5, maybe even 3 inches of rain up here in Northeast Georgia tomorrow night into Saturday as well. Now, ordinarily, this wouldn't be, of major concern. We can typically handle 2-3 inches of rain over a 12-hour period. Most of the time we can. But you'll remember Tuesday night and Wednesday, we had that significant rain event that gave us, in most locations across the area, an inch. Some of you may have gotten a little more than that. Some of you may have gotten a little less. And we really haven't had much time to dry out. So the ground is already completely saturated. So every drop of rain that falls tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, into Saturday morning is going to run off. It's going to hit those rivers. It's going to hit those lakes. Alabama Power and Georgia Power, the Southern Company as a whole, already opening some floodgates on some of the area rivers and lakes. I've seen a couple of notifications, especially over here in Georgia, where Georgia Power is already open some of those floodgates. So they're expecting a significant amount of rain, and they know that all of this rain is going to run off as soon as it hits the ground. So it's going to be a high flood, maybe a significant flood event. At least the threat is there for a significant flood event. And there could be a handful of strong to marginally severe thunderstorms along the way as we get into this weather event. All right, so I wanted to show you the radar and let you kind of see what's already taking place out there. And you can see we have a severe thunderstorm watch that stretches from about Kansas City, Missouri, back down to around Oklahoma City, and then down into central Texas. Dallas under the gun at this hour. Oklahoma City under the gun at this hour. Springfield, Missouri, about to get it. And that's what's moving our way. And you can see that we have a good bit of rain moving out ahead of all of this. And it is going to continue moving off to the east. And it'll probably be in here. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to even see a few scattered showers tomorrow morning when you wake up. But I think the bulk of the rain that's going to be with us for an extended period of time, probably won't start until around noon or shortly after for East Alabama. Now, Central Alabama may be mid-morning when it starts. So over there in West Alabama could be around sunrise. I mean, we've already got showers in Jackson, Mississippi, so it is definitely moving on into the southeastern United States pretty rapidly. So that's what we've got to look forward to tomorrow. Just an absolute wet period across East Alabama and West Georgia. And again, I want you just to know what's going on, because this is a little bit out of the ordinary. Because like I said, normally 2 to 3 inches of rain. Yeah, okay, it's the southeastern United States. We can get 1.5 inches, 2 inches out of one thunderstorm, and that typically doesn't cause a lot of trouble. But understand, rivers are already full. The ground's already completely saturated from the rain we had Tuesday night and Wednesday. So any rain that falls tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and into Saturday morning is going to run off. It's going to hit those rivers and those lakes. You folks who have property along the Tallapoosa, if your property is in a low-lying area and you have items down there that might be in jeopardy if they open the gates up at R.L. Harris, then you might want to get up tomorrow morning and go take care of those items and get them out of danger. And that holds true on any river chain across East Alabama or West Georgia. Just be aware of those areas that typically flood when we have minor flooding. We stand a pretty good chance of seeing some of that tomorrow night into Saturday. And the flooding part, the river flooding part, could very well last into Saturday night, Sunday, and maybe even into Monday as well. All right, so I'm going to go over to the chat room and chit-chat with you guys and answer questions. If you have questions, now's a good time to throw them. And don't forget, there is several links that are posting every now and then in the chat room. One of them is a link where you can support Dr. Don's Weather, and there are multiple options there. If you'd like to support us, you can do it on Cash App. You can also do it several different ways. So we invite you to do that. If you'd like to help us out, we certainly do appreciate it. You can also send us stars on Facebook. If you'll scroll back up to the top of the chat room, you can see some of those links. Also, there's a link up there for you Facebook users to give Restream permission to show me who you are. If you're a Facebook user and you haven't clicked on this link before, I don't know, all I see is Facebook user. Unless you click on that link and give Restream, which is the program that sends out our signal to all of our different social media platforms, you got to give it permission to show me who you are, or I'll never see your username. Also, there's a link up there for our PayPal account if you'd like to support us that way. And you can support Dr. Don's Weather through streamelements.com. That's a live tip. So if you go up there and click on that link, when you support us that way, then your little icon is going to pop up on the screen, and I'll be able to say thank you for supporting us here at Dr. Don's Weather, and also our merchandise store. Link is at the top of the chat room as well. All right, let's go back over to the chat room. And let's start talking to you guys. Is the orange severe? That's back over on the radar. Yes, that's a severe thunderstorm watch. I don't see any severe thunderstorm warnings out there, right? Yeah, I do. There's a severe thunderstorm warning just south of Oklahoma City. For a severe thunderstorm just north of Cordele, which is southwest of Oklahoma City. It looks like at the last frame there, that volume scan, they let that severe thunderstorm warning expire. So currently there's not one out there. But that's what that means. That orange box is a severe thunderstorm watch. But that's way out there, like I said, in Kansas City, in Missouri, and down into Oklahoma City and Wichita Falls, and back to the east or west of Dallas. What is Tammy Farr, the Rock Mills Rock, asking? Will it? Will it? Let me go back up and see if I can see what her original question was. You may have to post it again, Tammy. Yes, Sam, I'd tie down your Alabama bird that you've got in your backyard down there in Albany, Georgia. It could leave from here. I suspect Tammy was asking me if it was going to snow. If I had to guess. I can't find her comment. Yeah, there it is. I knew it. I knew that's what she was asking. Well, Miss Farr, just for you, here's a look at the brand new Dr. Don crystal ball. No snow for you. Yeah, you know, we're pretty much, are we done with winter? Probably not. I mean, we're going to have another cold snap or two. And you know, the biggest snow event we've ever had in the state of Alabama or Georgia or anywhere in the southeastern United States was when? That's right. It was in the month of March back in the year 93. So, it's possible. Tammy says she needs the Dr. Don crystal ball. I may make those available over on our weather store. We'll see. Comedian. I don't know about that. I have probably run lots of folks off trying to be cute. Stephen says he needs the winning lottery numbers. Well, let's see here, Stephen. You know, if I give you the winning lottery numbers, you have to split it with me. Send me a PM message. I'll tell you what the numbers are. If I give it out here, everybody will use those numbers, and then that'll just cut into our profit, you see. Hello, Sharon Willis. Yeah, if you live anywhere around West Point Lake there in Troup County or Chambers, I really need to pay attention to what's going on, especially if you're in an area where the water kind of gets up a little bit. You folks down there in West Point and Lynette Valley, I mean, you deal with it all the time down there. If they go to opening floodgates, you know what that does to you, and this is going to be one of those events where that will be possible. Hey, Marilyn Mayfield, good to see you. Hey, Mr. Rice Gray up in Wadawi. Stephen's watching us from Dahlonega, just right down the road from where I'm broadcasting from. Ramona Diamond's in here. Hey, Ramona. Yes, Michelle, this has the potential of being a frog strangler. And I saw Mary Wilkins in here, and she's down there at Frog Eye. So, Mary, start gathering up your frogs down there. Might get a little wet even for the frogs. So Kaylee's asking the question, what time's all this predicted to start? Timing on this, probably... we could see some showers in the morning, but the consistent, moderate and heavy rain probably after lunch tomorrow. Certainly could start around lunch, but I'm thinking probably mid-afternoon before it really sets in, and then we're going to be looking, maybe it's 6 to 8 hours of moderate to heavy rainfall. Again, folks, understand, anytime we go into a situation like this, there is always that bust factor. There's always that possibility that something unforeseen could take place that would keep this from materializing the way the models are suggesting. Or we could actually end up with more rain than what the models are suggesting. That has happened before, too. And one of the things that could happen, though it doesn't look very likely now, but one of the things that could happen is what happened Tuesday night, where we had those storms along the northern Gulf of Mexico that blew up really big down there, Fort Walton, Panama City, and those storms acted as a dam. It just kind of blocked the moisture from streaming north up into Alabama and Georgia. And so if we were to get really big storms down there along the Gulf Coast from Mobile to Apalachicola tomorrow night, that could potentially happen again. I don't look for that. I think that this probably is going to be a pretty wet period, anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain for most everybody, and some locations, some localized areas could see even more than 4 inches of rain. And again, like I said at the top of this, the danger here is, on an ordinary, if it's been a couple of weeks since we've had any rain, I wouldn't be nearly as concerned. I mean, anytime you get 2 to 4 inches of rain, you got to pay attention to it, but I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. We can deal with that kind of rain over a 12-hour period pretty easy. But when you factor in the fact that we just received 1 inch to 2 inches of rain Tuesday night into Wednesday, the ground's completely saturated. Rivers are already full. And so anything that hits the ground tomorrow night tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and into Saturday morning, is going to not be absorbed by the soil. It's going to head right straight for that river. And that's going to cause some river flooding, I believe. Regina's watching us in LaGrange. Hey, Carol. Carol Strickland, good to see you in here. You're welcome, Kathy Pike. Hey, Jackie Butts. While I've got you guys in here, let me say this. If you don't follow us over on YouTube, I need you to listen to me. If you're watching us on Facebook right now, I need you to listen to me, because this is very important. Sometime this summer, it could be sooner or it could be later, we are going to switch exclusively to YouTube. So your only two options to watch us when we go live will be YouTube and on our website at drdonwx.com. And we're kind of being forced to do that because of some changes that the folks at the FB are making it increasingly more difficult for us to get timely, life-saving information to you. So we feel like it's safer for you guys to kind of have to go over there with me to YouTube, because YouTube's set up differently. You get what's called a push notification from YouTube when we go live. That means it's instant. It's kind of like getting a text message. It's going to come to you. You know that Facebook is set up differently. They have a different algorithm, which means if you don't interact with Dr. Don's Weather at least once a week, maybe once every 3 days or once a week, over a period of time, we will fall off of your news feed. And you will not get those notifications from us when we go live if you don't interact with us, pretty much on a daily basis. And a lot of you do, but I know a lot of you don't. And I don't expect everybody to interact with us every single day. We do post weather every single day, but you have a life to live. I understand that. So that's how Facebook works. And if you don't interact with us pretty much all the time, then you run that risk of us falling off of your news feed. And so I don't want to give you a false sense of security thinking you're going to get that notification when we go live over there on Facebook, when I know that's not the case. And they're about to make some more changes that's going to make that process even more difficult. So we've made the decision that we're going to switch over to strictly YouTube and our website. And there are a couple of other live streaming platforms, social media platforms out there, nothing nearly as popular as Facebook and YouTube, but we're keeping an eye on some of those other options down the road as well. But sometime this summer, if they make the changes next week, it could be next week. I don't think that'll happen. I think it'll be down probably middle or latter part of the summer before that happens. But go ahead and do it now. Go ahead and go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather, and make sure you click that little bell so that if you don't click the bell and turn notifications on for YouTube, then you're not going to get that notification. That's something you have to do. We have no control over that. But very important that you follow us over on YouTube, because there will come a time in the next several weeks that we will not be broadcasting live on Facebook. Now, we'll send notification over on Facebook that we're going live on YouTube. You should still get that, but you're not going to be able to watch us on Facebook. And I know some of you don't have a YouTube account, and I get that. But I'm not the one that's driving this train. They're making changes. It's making it even more unsafe for us to be able to do what we do when it comes to weather. So be sure you follow us over there on YouTube. It doesn't cost you a dime. YouTube is actually a great social media video platform. And if you're on Facebook, you might as well be on YouTube also. So go over there and do that, and look forward to seeing you over on the tube. Oh, and one other cool piece, too. If you watch us on YouTube, very easy to download the YouTube app on your smart TV and watch us in high definition on your 75-inch TV. The resolution's pretty doggone cool. I mean, could you imagine this big head on a 75-inch TV? You ought to try it. It's pretty cool. You can see detail. I mean, you can see the map. You can see the radar. All those little bitty writings that you see on your phone that's so hard to see is magnified 1,000 times over on your television through YouTube. So watch us over there on your television. And send us photographs of you watching us on the TV. We'll feature them here on Dr. Don's Weather as well. A lot of you already do that. Yes, I will, Leslie. Absolutely, I'll be able to. As a matter of fact, my interaction with you will be easier and better on YouTube than it is on Facebook. Absolutely. Hey, Judy Morgan, good to see you. Hey, John. That's another thing. Right now, I have to filter through, a lot of you folks on Facebook, I can't even see who you are because of Facebook's. You have to click on that link and give Restream permission before I can see your name. That's a little irritating to have to go through that. I got to be careful here. They're going to get mad and turn me off before I get ready to switch. I don't want to do that. I mean, Facebook's been very good to us, and that's how we started, was on Facebook. And I mean, we've got over 18,000 followers over there. So it's certainly a very viable option. But it's just getting to where they're making it more and more difficult for us to stream live, life-saving information. So I'm not being critical. I'm just saying it's not conducive for severe weather broadcast. And I suspect it's probably because at some point in the not-too-distant future, they're going to start providing their own weather. That you're probably not going to have an option on whether you want to receive or not. And it's going to be automated. It's going to be like those rain apps you have on your phone. There's going to be no human interaction whatsoever. It's going to be wrong 99% of the time. And it's going to be irritating. But, okay, I get off my soapbox or I'll go dark. Let's see. Back in the house, Patricia said her screen froze up. We are screaming. We are screaming on the streaming tonight. I mean, we got like 5,000 kilobits going out. That doesn't mean anything to a lot of you, but it does over here on my end. Because when I first started this venture, I was getting maybe 800 kilobits out. Tonight we are blowing it out, so we're streaming very strong. Sharon, what's up with the weather? You're gonna get a heap of rain tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and into Saturday morning. Flooding will be a possibility. Maybe a little rumble of thunder there in Alexander City as well. Don't expect it to be a red letter severe weather outbreak for your area tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and Saturday morning, but certainly lots of rain. Yeah, see, Angela, that's what I'm talking about. Angela says that she saw one of our posts on Facebook, but didn't get the alert till 12 hours later. That's the point I'm trying to make, and that's happening, and it's happening more and more. And so that kind of gives you guys a false sense of security there, and that's troublesome to me. But it's because of the way their algorithm works. I mean, again, if you don't like us or share us just about every single day on Facebook, we will slowly drop off of the priorities on your news feed. So you're not going to get our notifications. You just about have to interact with us every single day to keep us there so that when we do go live, you get it immediately. Thank you, Leslie. That's a great idea. You should. Everybody should share us with your friends and ask your friends to share with their friends. That's how we get the word out that we can give you information during a severe weather event that could possibly save your life. So absolutely share us as much as you possibly can. But like I said, look, everybody's got a life to live. I mean, I understand. You're not going to And I wouldn't expect you to interact with us every single day, especially when there's not a whole lot going on in the weather. I mean, I love to see you every single day. I've got several that I hear from every single day, and I love it, love every minute of it. I'd love for all 18,000 of you to contact me every single day. That would be fantastic. But, you know, you got a life to live, and I understand that. You know, they ought to give you the option of whether, you know, to set those notifications up when we go live instead of using their computer algorithm. But that's all. I got hush. I'm going to get in trouble. Drop it. I'm going to have to get producer Tracy to come here and pull the plug in a minute because I'm going to get in trouble. Is it going to get rough in Roanoke tomorrow? I don't know about rough. We certainly could have a strong thunderstorm. I think the better chances of severe weather will be south of Roanoke, probably, you know, from about Chambers and Tallapoosa County south is where the better chances of severe weather will be. But a lot of rain and maybe some flooding issues in Randolph County and all across East Alabama and West Georgia. We've got some of the more trusted models screaming at us right across Randolph County as far as rainfall is concerned. Hey, Amanda over in Ashland. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for sharing us. Ugh. Christopher is going to be down on Lake Eufaula Saturday at a bass tournament. Well, I'll say that it's going to be ending Saturday, but Saturday morning, probably at put-in time, it is not going to be pretty. Or if this develops the way the models say it's going to, it won't be pretty in Eufaula at daylight. Probably pretty much a monsoon if this works out. Hey, Pam, I know we don't. I wish I had some kind of control over that. There's the crystal ball. See if I can work on that for you. Cassie's asking the question, is this like tornado weather? In the red circle. Where's the red circle? Red circle. Red circle, red circle, red circle. Where are you? I don't see a red circle. Maybe you're talking about when I was showing the radar. We cannot completely rule out the possibility of a tornado or two tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, but this is not going to be a red letter severe weather outbreak type setup here. I'm not expecting a lot of large, dangerous tornadoes tomorrow across the region. It's going to be, you know, when we have a lot of rain like that, that will, the heavy rain actually will stabilize the atmosphere so that there won't be that much instability. Of course, you got to have instability to get those severe thunderstorms. You got to have a severe thunderstorm to spawn a tornado. So I don't look at this as a significant tornado threat, even though the risk is not zero. I think the further south you go across South Alabama and maybe southern Georgia, we'll have a better chance at seeing a tornado or two. Hey, Mark. Thanks. I'm enjoying the crystal ball. I'm looking at getting, maybe some different colored crystal balls. I think it's pretty cool. That kind of started out, I was just joking one night. And then after I got off air, I thought, I bet you I can find a crystal ball with our logo in the middle of it. And there it is. Cannon Road 43. Hey, Kim. That's my Corinth connection right there. She'll keep me updated on what's happening. Hey, Tammy Ritchie. I'm working on some options on the crystal ball. If I can come up with a way to make that happen, I'll be sure and let you guys know. All right, so it's 7:39. I'm going to recap what we're looking at for tomorrow night. And then we're going to wrap this thing up tonight. Of course, we will have live coverage throughout this event if it does develop the way the models are telling us that it may. Of course, I have that daytime job, and we are just as likely to have flooding weather up here in northeast Georgia as you guys across East Alabama and West Georgia. But I should be able to go live. I mean, I can do that from wherever I happen to be when I need to. So we'll plan on doing some live coverage for you. And we'll certainly, at the very least, come back and do another live update for you tomorrow evening with the latest information on exactly, by tomorrow evening, we'll know what's going to happen because we'll be in the middle of it. But let me take you back over here to the graphics page. And for those of you who have just joined us, here's why we're talking about this tonight. There is a possibility of severe weather between 6 p.m. Friday and 9 a.m. Saturday morning across East Alabama and West Georgia. Those areas in green, which include our I-20 corridor counties of Carroll, Cleburne, Calhoun, Talladega, Clay, and Randolph. We're talking about a marginal risk, a level 1 out of 5, 5 being the highest risk, 1 being the lowest. We have a 1 out of 5, or a marginal risk, of damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, maybe even a brief tornado possible. And then those counties in yellow, and that would include southern Talladega, extreme southeastern Clay, Coosa, Tallapoosa, most of Chambers, Lee. That would include Harris and Troop in Georgia. And all of our central Alabama counties would have a better chance at seeing those threats that I just mentioned, which damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and a brief tornado is possible as well. But again, I don't think severe weather is going to be our concern tomorrow night. Yes, there could be a rogue severe thunderstorm or two, and yes, there could be a rogue tornado or two. If it happens in your front yard, then it's the most significant event you've ever had. I get that. But we're not talking about a widespread event where hundreds of thousands of people are going to be affected by severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. But what hundreds of thousands of people certainly could be affected by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and Saturday will be excessive rainfall. And we're talking rainfall rates of up to 3 to 4 inches, possible across East Alabama and West Georgia. And there's a look at the flash flood watch that will go into effect at noon tomorrow and last through 3 p.m. on Saturday. So just understand, turn around, don't drown, don't drive across areas where water's crossing the roadway, even if the road looks perfectly fine and it's only about an inch or two of water. Don't take the chance, folks, especially if it's early in the morning, Saturday morning, because you don't know the integrity of that road under that asphalt. That culvert may already be gone. And when you drive over that pavement, the weight of your automobile, you collapse and you sink down into the hole where the washed out culvert is. That happens. It happens every major flood event we have across the country. So, just don't drive across a road that's covered in water. That's the safest thing to do. I see people do it all the time, and it's just not safe to do it, folks. You may do it 100 times and not have a problem. Well, that 101st time you go across it could be the last time. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. So you don't take that chance. And then there's your excessive rainfall outlook, the red area. And maybe that was the red area that was the question was being asked about a few moments ago. That's not a severe like tornado threat area. That is excessive rainfall. That red area that you see from West Alabama across Central Alabama, East Alabama, and West Georgia, that's where we expect the possibility of excessive rainfall. So that's what that is. I'm sorry, Cassie. I forgot I showed that a few moments ago, to be honest with you. And that's a product I normally don't show because it is confusing, because when you see red, you think tornado. So that was a very good question, and thank you for asking that question so I could clarify it for everybody else. But no, that's not a tornado threat. That is an excessive rainfall threat. And you see it covers all of East Alabama and West Georgia. So we already know that Georgia Power and Alabama Power both are opening gates at some of their facilities. They've already opened some over here in Georgia. They're opening them ahead of this system because it has the potential of dropping 2 to 4 inches of rain, and every drop that falls from the cloud is going to run off. It's not going to be absorbed by the ground. So they're lowering their pools now in anticipation of this heavy rain, so that if we do get the heavy rain, we won't just go into flood immediately. But rivers and streams are already high. They're going to be coming up tonight, even ahead of the rain, because the gates are being opened at some of these facilities. And then the heavy rain could certainly be raining at your house when you get up in the morning. I think the heavy, consistent rain is in here after lunch tomorrow. It lasts throughout the night and into Saturday morning. And should be exiting East Alabama 7, 8, 9 a.m. Saturday morning. And then leaving West Georgia probably 10, 11, 12. Maybe by 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon, West Georgia will be okay. The rain should have subsided by that time. And then we're going to stay mostly cloudy the rest of the day on Saturday. Sunshine's back with us on Sunday, though it's going to be a good bit cooler, about 10 to 15 degrees cooler in some locations on Sunday than what we will see on tomorrow and Friday, or tomorrow and Saturday. And then we'll slowly warm back up as we go through next week. So, Kaylin starts, the rain will start in the morning, a heavy rain by tomorrow afternoon, and then continue throughout the evening, tomorrow night into Saturday morning is the time frame. So, folks, that'll do it. We're going to wrap things up. There's this big major television show coming on at the top of the hour here in about 14 minutes that I know all of you are getting ready to go watch. And that's as close to politics as I'm gonna get here on Dr. Don's Weather. So we'll step aside. Thank you for joining us this evening. Again, please don't forget to support us if you can. We greatly appreciate it. This does takes your support to keep us going, because there's a lot of expense involved in all this. So anytime you can help us out and support us, we greatly appreciate it. If you own a business, if you're part of a civic organization, municipal or county government, and you'd like to be a partner with us, just send me a message on Messenger, and I can have you set up and ready to go before we do tomorrow morning's weather forecast, which will happen about 5:30 tomorrow morning. We do it every single day. We send you the primetime forecast with what we expect to happen in the next 24 hours. So we'll have that out for you by about 5:30 tomorrow morning. And then we'll do live updates throughout the day and tomorrow evening, if need be, as we watch this system move through the southeastern United States. Have a fantastic remainder of your Thursday, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I'll see you back in here first thing tomorrow morning with your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's Weather.